scientist. I'm not an expert in footballs. I'm not an expert in football measurements. I don't want anyone rubbing them, putting in the air in them, taking the air out. To me, those balls are perfect, and that's what I expect when I show up.
I can't throw it over football. It's so goddamn hard about holding on to it.
Goodbye, October. Hello, November. Our next 7 hours of commercial-free football will be November 3rd. As crazy as this season has been, I think we can really start to see the forest through the trees. And the one thing that is absolutely clear is drafting Zamir White was the worst mistake anyone made this year. Stacks, congrats on winning 2 Gs yesterday.
Thank you, my friend. And I am sorry that you lost your Zamir White sweepstakes this year at the beginning of the year. It was a
Yeah, on
terrible
9
loss for the
teams.
community and at a whole. I mean, last year he got 150 yards like on Christmas, and now he all of a sudden he can't run. I don't understand. Makes no sense. So
Whatevs. It's fantasy football, baby.
yeah, no, it's sad, but I did win 2 Gs yesterday. That is true. 2.3 Gs. Listen, kicking myself. I took my man Pitts out of that stack. I had 5 players in there. I could have won 7.5 Gs. So I'm
So
mad at myself because I was like, oh, Kyle Pitts. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to. I felt like, listen, when you're gambling, you're gambling. I felt like, oh, 5's too much. Four's okay. I'll pick 4, but that 5th one, I'm pressing my luck. No, I should have pressed my luck. I would have been $7,000 richer. But I'll take 2.3. My account now says 3.2. Dude, I'm up. Like $7,000 on DraftKings in the last 4 or 5 years. So I feel good about that. On the other hand, though, I got some tight matchups tonight. And in the near future, I'm neck and neck with people like yourself in these leagues that I want to win. I want to win the bye. So all's good for like a minute, and then you got to get right back into the game. And there's a game tonight. I need points tonight. It's not over.
bro, this is what's crazy, man. I was saving this for the show because you haven't mentioned it, so I don't know if you know. I mean, sometimes the simulation, the matrix, it just does the most beautiful things. Like you won 2.3 Gs on a 4 TD bet on tight ends on National Tight End Day, right? Like, thank you, Simulation Matrix. Like, it's National Tight End Day. I'm gonna bet the tight ends. Do you know? You won 2.3. Could have won 7.5 if you did one more. Do you know somebody? I think there was 10. Somebody bet a $10 bet on, I don't know how many tight ends it was. It was 8, 9, 10, whatever. It starts going up exponentially. So it's an 8 to 10 leg parlay. All the tight ends on National Tight End Day. They put $10 in and won $185,000
That's my
on
that's my
National
home run.
Tight End Day.
Yeah, that's awesome. That gets me rock hard chubby for tight ends. I mean, that's what my thought process was. I mean, it literally was that simple. My brain went, it's National Tight Ends Day. Got to get the tight end involved. Got to go big tight end. I'm going tight end. Boom, 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 boom. And I went down and I picked him. I picked Evan Ingram playing against Green Bay. They give up a little bit to the tight end. And then I picked a dueling tight ends in the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens game in Njoku, and my boy Mark Andrews, like 3 straight weeks with a touchdown. So I'm riding that hot hand. So you know what? You get a little lucky here and there. I think maybe Kate Otten was the next guy. You saw that one coming from a mile away. So you get plus 400, plus 350, plus 500. I'll take plus that. The tight ends, they don't get it. They don't get it. Some weeks the tight ends are like better options in the red zone than receivers. Like that's why they're there. So, God bless them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the season was due for some positive regression too for tight ends. So, uh, but to have it all happen on tight end day, it's just crazy. I mean,
It's
there was
special.
so many tight ends that scored touchdowns. Like I said, it was like an 8 or 10 leg parlay, something like that.
Yeah, you know what? I do love those when the matrix lines up with reality and it all just, like I'm going to bet tight ends. I won tight ends. I won
Yeah.
$180,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cheers to that guy. And it was cool because we were actually yesterday. I didn't watch a lot of football. I didn't watch all the tight ends catch their touchdowns the whole time. I was with my family doing a little family event for the father-in-law for the birthday, and they're talking about Christmas and how much they're spending. And I just stood up. I said, "I'm buying Christmas presents. I just won $2,000." Then my wife went, "No, we need a fridge. We need a dishwasher." I was like, "Oh, okay, sorry, Scrooge, back. I'm back. No gifts to anybody." So it was fun. The family was really excited for me too, and I called you and got excited, and and then even our boy, O-Dog, Molson, trying to trade you Shaheed Olsen, DM'd me and just said, "Hey man, what's your secret here? What you working with, man? What's going on?" So
It's
it's nice.
it's the $10 4-leg parlay moves, dude. You're killing it.
You don't need to bet $100 a week or $500, or it's $10 and just get yourself some plus 2,000 odds, and then oh, by the way, DraftKings, they parlay boosted it. It was less. It was $700 or $800. Not that. It was 1,000. They gave it. There was like a 50% boost. So they threw up the odds too. They were like, "Hey, you want more money?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do want more money." So thank you, DraftKings. Shout out.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty cool, man. Also, you gotta thank George Kittle, because National Tight End Day didn't exist until like 4 years ago or 5 years ago, when he was just like, "Yeah, we're gonna have a holiday called National Tight Ends Day," and now it's the thing.
It's the thing, and he even has like beer pong competitions in the off season for tight ends, like Tight End University. They get together, they wrestle and stuff. So there's a brotherhood there with these tight ends, and shout out Clint Didier and Donnie Warren and all those guys from back in the 80s, Mark Bavaro. Like, I love tight ends. Like, when I won my 5Gs doing the 25 cents, it was on Jordan Reed's 3 touchdowns that he got as a New York Jet, as a tight end. No, it was 2 touchdowns for Jordan Reed and then 3 touchdowns for our boy Higbee. So, you got 5 touchdowns from tight ends is what won me my 5G. So, tight ends for everybody. That's I'm a tight end whisperer, apparently. That's my group. So
I mean, honestly, if you had to pick, because I mean, I am in love with football. I am in love with football players. I think that they're the most athletic people in the world. If I had to pick w- w- out of all the different positions, who the ultimate dude is, like, the most versatile. Like, if you took George Kittle, he could play probably every position, right? Like, they're the guys that could do literally everything. Like, they could play line. They wouldn't be as good, obviously, as a 330 pounder, but they could learn to play defensive line. They could play safety. They're fast, right? Like, they could definitely play linebacker. They're built just like linebackers, you know. Yeah, you could give George Kittle handoffs. Like, I mean, if he could throw, he could literally play any position. So tight end is like kind of the coolest people on the football field.
yeah, the coolest people for sure, and some of the toughest. Because I mean, we talked about this a couple years ago. I think we even played the clip of you played it of George Kittle just like running over one of the New Orleans Saints in the end zone on a block for a touchdown from somebody else, and he just like. Like he's just filled with joy. It's not even anger. I'm out there like trying to kill people. He's just out there like loving Jesus. Just like, I hit you in the name of Christ. This is great. You're on the ground. What a game. What a game. Jumps up, claps. So happy. So, yeah, I'm all in, all about it. And, that's how I feel too. All right. So don't want to cut us off if we're going to, schmooze with tight ends, but please do give us a follow. We're almost at 1,000 followers over on Twitter. We are the FF Millionaires. Didn't have enough room for the Fantasy Millionaires or Fantasy Millionaires, so I just put FF Millionaires. Do follow us. Subscribe to our YouTube, please. We're up and running on the tube right now. I checked us out. We're good to go. It didn't false start us, so we're still there. We're on the tube. We're live. Do check us out there and jump in the show chat. We'll be a little bit more active these days in the show chat. And go follow Mike, the Ralph Macho, and me, Nimble W Numbers ourselves. Mike, I got a banger going. Oh man, Joy, our boy Nick Bosa. Yeah, joy to the world. Nick Bosa. People don't like that he put his MAGA hat on Twitter. And I made a comment about it, and people agree with me. A lot of people do, but the MAGA people do not agree with me. The MAGA people are coming to let me know I'm a soy boy cuck chud today. So it's been a little fun. So if you're coming for that, you can come for that too. Just check us out over here.
I
Fantasy
see why you're
Millionaires.
bringing that up. You're worried. You're worried we get. Hey man, everyone's welcome over here. Just
It
give
is
us a
true.
follow. That's all we ask.
It is true. You're welcome, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody, and you've got 1,700 followers. Let's get you to 1,800 one of these days.
I've had 1,751 followers for like 4 years. So yeah, man. Anybody paying attention? Come on, give me a follow.
Yes,
I won't
sir.
tweet
Yes, sir.
anything, but
Yeah. So the way we do this show is that we like to go through different segments. First one is trades to get paid. We want to talk about some of these guys who are either buy high, buy low, sell high, sell low options for you, wheeling and dealing. You're making moves in your league. So I like to kick it off for my partner. He's got some gems he likes to unearth every week. He's kind of the trade guru around here. So who you leaning on this week? Where are you looking?
yeah, man. This is probably my favorite segment because it's all just. First of all, no one trades. It's the hardest thing to do.
People hate trading.
So
I
it's.
don't know.
I feel like this is where you just actually get to talk what you talk about with your friends. Like what's going on in football. And I like a lot of my picks for this week. It's always hard to fill it out like sell high, buy high, but buy low. I'm going to start with, and I think this is a good one. Okay, I'm proud of this one because if you're in a 10-man league, I already cut this person. I'm going with Deontay Johnson. Okay, he's my buy low, and here's the simple thought process. Okay, this guy is for sure somebody that somebody wants to dump, right? I was with a friend at CrossFit today. We were looking at his team, and uh, he has Hawkinson on the IR spot, and he has to dump somebody to bring him out for this following week. And we were looking, and I was like, man, on your team, like the only person I would really want to cut, but you can't cut him, is Deontay Johnson. I don't know. And so, and then later today, I picked up somebody and I cut Deontay Johnson in a 10-man league. And I started thinking about it. I was like, if you're in a 12-man league or greater, there's a lot of swirlings that he's going to get traded. We talked about it last week, I think, how he has the greatest ass. He is like
He's an
number
ass
1,
man.
2, or
Yeah.
3. He average separation score. Okay, a very important metric for wide receivers. He's like top 3 in the league for ass. Okay.
Ass.
They know that. Some team is going to get him, I believe. If not, what does it cost you? You can get this guy for dirt cheap. And then if he goes on to a team, yeah, you're going to still have to deal with, a week or two of bad games of him learning the system. But the trade deadline is like a week away. I think it's November 5th. Do it. See if you can get Deontay Johnson.
I like it. I'm not gonna lie. It as the kids say, it plays. I have him, and now I'm thinking of not trading him. I'm thinking of maybe keeping him because he definitely was somebody who I don't know what to do with him given the QB situation, the relative terribleness of their team, and then the injury as well. It's been it's been interesting. So I like what you're thinking here with the buy low. I'm gonna keep him on my bench and keep him in my IR spot for now, because he's out. I left him in there. Thankfully, we have that ability. You can be out and be in the IR, not just IR. But no, I like it. Okay, what do you think about my guy? And I got to actually remember what I wrote down on my. Oh yeah, I do remember my. This is buy low, right?
Right.
And maybe it's relatively buy low because all these guys do have a price. But if you look at our boy Tyreek Hill, he's wide receiver 36. He was drafted wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3, right? So you're low. You're low on him. It's not going well. And even last week or yesterday, right? So last week, but this week, 9 targets. I like that. That's promising. Only 6 receptions. Not that great. 12, 13 points, 13.2. So he's just, except for the first week, he's just been abysmal. And so, I'm not sure if the other person just resigned themselves if you did draft him to not, like, I can't want to have Tyreek anymore. Or if you're like so excited to have him back that you're never going to trade him. But he's disappointed. He's disappointed. And so maybe the owner's kind of moved on from Tyreek, or he's got another plan going and he's not his main guy he's relying on anymore. And maybe you could kind of, finagle him. I think there's better days ahead for Tyreek for sure. If you just look at some of these matchups coming up, the Rams, Civ, the Vegas is a Civ. Even San Francisco, you can get on them, and Cleveland too. So there's some good matchups coming into the playoffs. Buffalo's pretty tough, but maybe waiting for the Buffalo game and kind of see if he gets clamped down on. And if that happens, then you got kind of more ammo to be like, hey, Tyreek didn't really show out in Buffalo either, and then you can kind of maybe go after him then. But if you think he's going to rebound and do a good job in Buffalo, get him now. Try to get him. So are you into the Tyreek Hill business?
100%. Yes, I would totally 1,000% buy low right now on Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I'm wondering kind of where he would go. Like, are people going to be willing to take like a RB2, a firm RB2, or are they going to have an RB1, in that, or tight end wise? You got to have a nice strong tight end.
I think you got to give up somebody for Tyreek Hill. You got to give up maybe like Aaron Jones, David Montgomery, DeAndre Swift type player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not you're not just going to get him for, like, it's Tyreek Hill, and everyone knows Tua's back. So Tua is back. So, but I do like just the trepidation still surrounding that, and he didn't go nuclear, so you still have an opportunity.
Right. There's still a window right now where
Right.
Tyreek is still the owner is still upset. He's not happy still. He's just like grating his teeth. So yeah, see what sticks if you throw something against the wall. Who's your buy high?
Man, my buy high. Again, it's hard to do them because you don't want to buy high when they're super high, but I like this buy high because it's positionally based, and I really think that this is how it goes for this offense now. I like Cade Otton, right? I I I think he is a great buy high candidate. Um, Losing Chris Godwin, you lose some of the underneath slot receiver routes, right? Like, Cade Otton is going to get a higher percentage of targets, I think, because of that injury. And Baker Mayfield, man, just so impressive. Like, I mean, he really is just balling out. Like, just keeping that team afloat without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And the connection that he has with Cade Otton is real, dude. Like, they are they're mind melding all the time, it looks like. And this past week is like, I don't know, the highest you could buy on Cade Otton. But I I think I think it keeps going. I mean, he has a good matchup in week 9 too. Uh so I think go ahead, give up something good for I think someone that's going to be a primo tight end the rest of the season.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And if you look at his targets, 10 and 10 the last 2 days, or last 2 games, excuse me, the 2 days he's played. I mean,
Right.
that is just you want that. That's good. That's good, kids. 10 and he's 17 to 20, right? So he's 85% with his catch rate, and he's got 2 touchdowns in there, and he's around 10 and a half, 11 yards per reception. So what's not to like? Back-to-back 20-point performances, and now he's tight end 6. So bro's got tight end 3-4 upside, given the fact that you said there's no Godwin. He's the new Godwin. He's got to. It's just Baker needs to throw somebody underneath. He needs to. He's not trying to throw 80 yards, and he can't because he doesn't have Mike Evans anyway. So he's looking for that underneath, that crossing, that scramble. Who's his guy? This big, huge hunk of man right here. So yeah, I'm into him. I love it. It's a great call.
Thank you, sir. Who's your buy high?
My buy high is somebody who he's been injured for a while, but he's back now, and he had a good performance last week. He didn't blow the doors off, but he had relatively, I think, a top 10 performance. It's our boy JT, Jonathan Taylor Thomas himself. Here's what we do know. Joe Flacco or Anthony Richardson, I don't care who the quarterback is. The running back is solid. The role is solid. Anthony Richardson around 50% passer rate, completion rate, not passer rate, but completion rate. Just he was terrible, right? At one point they put up a stat, it was like 2 for 15 or 2 for 13. Not great. You know who is still great? JT. JT's still great. He's still the beast. This is the guy in this offense. We'll talk a little bit about some of the other weapons later, who I do like, but in the games he's played, 18, 30, 21, 22 the last 3 games. So he's averaging 23 points per game the last 4. That's ridiculous. That's elite. That's elite, right? And so, Saquon's elite this year. Derrick Henry's been elite. JT, not as much. We've not been aware of it. He's been injured the last 3 weeks, not in the game. It's just kind of, you forget. No, bro's elite too. And, I'm not really worried about him getting injured again. He had, 21 touches in that game, and I think he's back. And so, JT, don't forget JT. He's been kind of lost and forgotten the last couple of years after he burst onto the scene. So are you into the JT world? And if you are, what would you trade to get him, or how would you kind of see him moving forward in terms of value?
I love your pick so far. I'm 100% in the JT business. I think he is one of the, in terms of talent, the very, very upper crust of running backs in the National Football League. The problem is, um, you know, uh, it'll be very hard to obtain. He was going in the first round, so I mean, uh, yeah, I mean, you could give up Tyreek or something like that. I would take JT over Tyreek. I think the way that things are just shaping out, I feel like this is a safer, more stable floor. So I think that you'd have to give up somebody that, of the people that have survived in the year of our Lord 2024, the first 2 rounds that are still worth anything. I think you're going to have to give up some pretty serious equity to get them. But I would for sure.
Yeah, same. I think for me, if I got him, it would be like, I'd be very, very. How's it drop, by the way, kids? One of the first ones I've been able to use. I'd be very happy. I would just be enthralled to have JT. It might take a 2-player combo, right? You might have to trade Tyreek and Jacoby Myers or something like that. I don't know, but I think if you want to secure one of the top 3 running backs for the rest of the season, I think you got to do it. That's what I would do. So, all right. Are you selling low or are you selling high next?
I'll do sell low. My sell low is keep it on the Dolphins, bro. I'm gonna go with Jalen Waddle. Um, Even though I think the Dolphins will be better going forward. Yeah, probably the worst time to sell them. So you know, yeah, I'm sure there'll be better days ahead, but not, I don't think, much better right now. And this is my reasoning for the sell low. Right now, Devon Achan has more PPR receiving points than Jalen Waddle, right? Like
That's
that's
not good
that's
for
not
him.
that's not good, right? And so I mean, we're halfway through the season now, the regular season at least, and um this is what 2024 is. Like Jalen Waddle is a bust. He's it's not.
Yeah, he's
It's
bust.
not
He's a
what we
bust.
thought it's not what we thought it was gonna be, and, Tyreek's gonna stay Tyreek, and the rest of the PPR points are gonna get, um, kind of decided between Achane and Waddle, right? And I just like, I just think if you can get anything for him, go for it because, there's he went in like the second round. And I'm sure there's still people out there that would be willing to buy on him. And I don't think it's I think that this is a bad week. So for sure it's a real sell low. But I don't think he's gonna have these I don't think Miami's gonna be um, anything like they were last year. I did you see that one play where Tua was scrambling and it was just like the scariest thing ever. He ran for like 10 yards and just like everybody in the world was like, "Oh my god. Oh my god." It just yeah,
Don't do it. You're a young man, Tua.
yeah, yeah. That team it's just different now. Like the Tua thing has totally derailed things. So I think Achan is the person that I want on that team for the PPR work.
I like your call. I'm not going to go against your call here. Okay, so here's my guy, and you might be buying, right? Because you talk about these offenses, and you do want a piece of them. But right now, my guy Jaden Reed, he's still ranked ninth, but he's a little struggling. He's a little struggling, and
I love
back-to-back
your pick.
performances basically the last 4 weeks. He's just not hit up his upside. But the last two particularly, he's got averaging 5.2 points per game, and he's only seen 7 targets. And if you look back too, he's been very efficient with his targets. So 7 of 8, 4 of 6. 4 of 6 for the touchdown, another carry for a touchdown. So that 38 is kind of inflated because he got a carry, which is fine. He does get carries, but he's been getting less carries, less yards. They're kind of on to him. You can see that they're over here. They're scheming against his run. And then he's got a bye coming up. Chicago's a pretty good defense too. Detroit, not terrible. They could get some points against Detroit, but I just think that you do have an opportunity to sell on him if you want. And particularly, I don't know with Christian Watson. I'm sorry, with Jordan Love's not Christian Watson, but Jordan Love's hammy. That's not good. Going down and not being able to continue in the game. I want to kind of know what's going on with that too. So maybe you don't trade him, but if he's going to be out a couple weeks too with his hammy, then that's not good. You still need Jaden Reed to have Jordan Love to be at his upside. So see what happens. Would you be a buyer in this market, by the way?
Listen, I'll tell you, I'll be dead honest with you. The only reason why I didn't put him as my sell low is because last week he was my buy low, and I just felt too stupid going back
That's
to back.
hilarious.
I love your cello. He's actually my secret cello that I didn't want to do because if you go back to the tape last week
Back to
to
the
our
tape.
7 listeners now, he was my buy low and he's 100% a cello candidate. I double stamp it. And here's the thing for me, we don't know. We don't. We're all just people on the outside, sitting on our couch on Sundays. Yeah, trying our best. Looking at the tea leaves, trying to come up with what we can come up with. I'll tell you my hot take on it. The Romeo Dobbs squeaky wheel gets the oil thing has it just changed the dynamic. Like he's the number one on that team. Like you gotta get Romeo his touches now. Like he's the alpha. Like the team ever since he was suspended for conduct detrimental to the team, you know, he's come back and just been blazing hot, right? Like I mean, even this past week, um, before Jordan Love went down, like he was doing his thing. He only ended up with 72 yards, but the week before that, 10 targets, right? Like
He was eating.
I Yeah, man, eating. So that's my, that's just my armchair take on it is like, and yeah, man, Jordan Love going down again. Like, what a bummer. Like 2024 again. Let us have Jordan Love back. Yesterday was a horrible day for me in DFS. I had, and what's crazy, I played only like 8 lineups. I think I literally think I had 100% Cedric Tillman. So I
Nice.
thought I was gonna have at least yeah, I thought I was gonna have at least a decent day. Now you can't have a decent day because I only took 2 quarterbacks, and it was either Caleb Williams or Jordan Love, and those were all my teams were those 2
Oh
guys. So
no.
not good. Not good. I didn't even win the the Seth Rogen $1.50 check, to make back $1.50 on the $60 I spent or whatever.
I feel for you.
Rough.
Seth Rogen would be laughing
Yeah.
at you now from a cannabis commercial.
Yeah,
Um,
that check, I wish I won that check.
that's so funny. So, well, yeah. Who is your sell high? Who you selling?
I'll be honest with you, okay? So like we said, this is kind of the portion of the
Don't
show
lie
where
to
we
me.
just
Don't
like to
lie to me. You
kind of
better be
kick
honest,
it.
you motherfucker. Don't lie.
I don't know if he's really a sell high. I'll just tell you what, um, I and I think he might have been your sell high before, and so I'm interested to get your thoughts. I I don't I hate having CeeDee Lamb, dude, and he's the number 4 wide receiver in the NFL. But just
Yeah.
you
Dysfunctional Dallas.
go look at his games, dude. Like, I mean, I don't know what happened. I turned that game off. He went bananas in the last like 7 minutes. I was down like 40 points in one league, and I clocked back in today, and now I'm going to lose that game by 2 points. He almost got me there. Um, just a bananas game. Um, but man, the stuff I was watching of that game last night, this is not. Now, we'll see. We'll see. Last year, it was around like week 6. Dak all of a sudden just kicked it into another gear,
You figured it out.
and he figured it out. Maybe last night is the beginnings of that. I don't think so. I don't think it's the same team. I don't think there's anything about I think them losing Dan Quinn was huge. I think their defense stinks. They have no running game, and Dak just looks like how he's always looked, minus the last like 10 games of last season, right? He's just flummoxed and throwing bad picks. And, I remember last year he said he learned this, just, it was like the blink method, like he just took his 6 drops and then he threw it, and it was like, this was the big secret. Like he learned the art of the blink, and he lost it. He lost his blink. Like he's back to just same old Dak, and it's frustrating. And so I don't know. I don't know if I want to sell high the number 4. Because here's the reason why I would push back against myself is like, what else do they have on that team? Like that's it. Like it's the CeeDee Lamb show.
Hot
So
garbage. They got
yeah, I'm
Zeke.
kind of being a little mealy mouth with my pick, but I'm just complaining. I'm nervous about CeeDee Lamb, and I'd sell high for the right price, is what I'm saying.
Okay, I feel you. Okay, so I know I'm gonna get you on this one. This is bait, but tight ends have been an issue, right? And so
Yes.
you know what? Maybe you don't make this move, but maybe you do. Right now, I don't think you could find more value for Kyle Pitts ever. Kyle Pitts has never been hotter. I don't think ever in his existence, other than before he gets drafted every year, and you can't trade for him then because you don't have him because he's not drafted yet, right? Then there's always, but right now, this motherfucker is hot. He's in an offense is hot. Captain Kirk is hot. He's 5th ranked, right? We're just talking hot tight ends. He got 2 touchdowns, even though he did the Leon Lett bit where he puts his arm out and then Don Beebe runs back and knocks the ball out of his hands. You big dummy.
Deshaun Jackson-esque.
Yes. Just like, what are you thinking, bro? So, but they counted it as a touchdown. But my man, he's got 26 points, and listen, that's double, what he did last week. 15 is his high before that, and that was on eight catches, or sorry, 7 catches for 88 yards. So this was his best game by far. 2 touchdowns, 91 yards, 22.8 average, catch rate. I love that, for what you're working with here. But also, do you know that in that offense? Right now, Kirk Cousins has a 2 top 10 wide receivers. He's got, I think Mooney's 10th, I think right now, and then Drake London is 6th.
Dude.
Oh, Mooney is to the moon. I wish I had more shares. It's just ridiculous. But I don't know if Kyle Pitts, Mooney, and Drake London can all sustain this necessarily. And so my thought is that Pitts falls off just a tiny bit. So if you can trade him, if you already have a tight end, or just keep him forever, I don't know. What do you think? I'm going back and forth, just like you're talking yourself out of your trade. As I picked this one, I thought, ooh, you could definitely glut somebody like Bo right now. Now's the time to do it. But then
Why do you say it's bait? Why do you say it's bait for me?
Well, I know secretly down low that you're a Kyle Pitts guy and you love him too. So I want to know.
I feel like you're secretly a Kyle Pitts guy too.
I am. That's why I want to know from a secret Kyle Pitts to another. What do you think about that? Would you trade him or would you keep him? Like, he's probably not going to get 26 again this season.
No, I maybe. I honestly think. Yeah, I'm buying. I think what you said is true. Like, 3 mouths to feed, someone doesn't eat, right? But if I'm the OC, I'm gonna make that person eating less Darnell Mooney. Although he looks fantastic as well. I just think Kyle Pitts has really started to look like what everyone has been saying Kyle Pitts is supposed to do in the NFL. I think he looks fantastic. I'm buying. I think where did he go this year in the 6th round? Like, shaping up like that was a great draft pick. Like, where is he right now in terms of rankings? 5th. So top 5, and it's like the momentum is shifting. I mean, to me, he's just like a bigger, stronger version of Drake London. Like, throw the dude the ball. Like, he can get loose like he did in this last game, take it to the house. Speed, everything. He's so big and amazing. He can actually block. He can actually play tight end. And as we found out with Arthur Smith, he's such a great blocker. And we're just going to use him to block. But he's amazing. Like I said, tight ends are like the coolest. Like, Kyle Pitts is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. He could do literally anything. He could play.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one person on the Falcons to try and play, every position, I'd pick Kyle Pitts. So I'm buying. It's definitely a sell high moment. But yeah, I'm buying. I think things are really moving in the right direction for that squad, for everybody.
Yeah.
Bijan, Drake London was the 3rd. What is he? He's like 5th now, wide receiver. Mooney is 9.
I was wrong. Mooney's 14, but still, they're
okay.
still ridiculous.
But our boy Kirk Cousins is hey, he was my elevate, I think, for last week. So
mine this week.
Yeah.
Well,
I say it last week. I was calling it just because he was playing the Bucks. I was like, remember the game before he had 500? I was like, yeah, he'll do at least some of that. And man, he almost did it all again.
He reran it. So real quick, off the top of your dome, would you rather have rest of the season Trey McBride, Tucker Kraft, Kyle Pitts, Cade Otton?
Trey McBride's my dude. I'd take Trey McBride. I didn't even listen to you after you said Trey McBride.
Yeah, they're all around the same amount of points, like 94 to 90. I like that. All right, that was a long trades to get paid because that's our favorite segment. Next, we're gonna do the wire, which should be pretty quick. It's not gonna be super long, I think. Um, QB wise, just a couple of guys that you guys should pay attention to. Bo Nix is only 36% rostered, people. I think we've been talking about him for 3 weeks now. You talked about him last week. We talked about him the week before. Like, people are not listening. He had 40 points in our league, which is pretty, I think he's QB2 behind only Kirk this week. So he's moving up the ranks, and overall, he is, right outside the top 10, or if not in the top 10, he's 12th. Yeah, and in the last couple weeks, he's looked like a real quarterback. He's got a 41 point performance. He's got 26, a 30 point. So not those early games where he sucked. He's playing Baltimore next week. He's going to throw a bunch there. Atlanta, he'll throw. Vegas, he'll throw. Cleveland, he'll throw. Indy, he'll throw. Cincy, he'll throw. So he's got some throws. He's got some. I don't know what you're doing. Pick him up.
Yeah, yeah. We've been saying it, so I didn't even write him down. Obviously, you gotta look at Jameis Winston. Steps in and balls out. Got to be so excited if you're a Browns fan to have that dude. I mean, just what a gem that guy is. He's just such a gem. I watched just different interviews with him, and I mean, it's so cool that he's getting another opportunity, and steps in, does what he does. Uh, was able to. I couldn't believe. Like, I was doing stuff during that time. I was like, they beat the Ravens. Like, what?
I watched the whole game, my brother.
I couldn't believe it, dude. I was listening to the very end, like Lamar had a chance, and they got right down the field, but man, unbelievable. So Jameis, I think, is for sure. You got to look at it if you need some help with the position. I'll tell you the person I'm foaming at the mouth to get, that's 18.5% rostered in ESPN, and I just potentially lost Jordan Love. I am foaming at the mouth, gonna blow some serious fab on my boy Matthew Stafford. OMG,
He's got his
Puka
boys
is back.
He's got his boys back.
Cooper is back, dude. Like, the band is back, and they just balled out, man. Like, I mean,
They lit up
you
Minnesota,
know,
and Minnesota was one of the best defenses, and they made them look just
it's the
terrible.
best. Yeah, they're the number one fantasy defense. Like, they're a really good defense. We've seen them give everybody fits. Like, and I mean, I was debating putting Puka as my buy high. It's just I just didn't feel like wasting people's time because everyone's gonna buy. You can't buy him. Puka, just he all better. He all better. Like, he's such a beast. Like, and I was saying this at the beginning of the season with Matthew Stafford. I never understood the ranking on him. If you have someone going in the first round and you have someone going in the second round, then that quarterback's gonna probably be pretty good. You know what I mean? So, um, yeah, I'm 100% on my Jordan Love team, ready to blow some fab on Stafford out of everybody.
You got sometimes you gotta blow it. You just gotta do it.
Mhm.
I'm with you. And one thing I love seeing Cooper Cup and Puka Nakua back together. Nakua is a biggins, and so you see him out there on the edge catching balls and getting hit by safeties. He's hitting them. You know what I mean? It's a lot of physicality out there, and I like that personally in my wide receivers. Devonta Smith, I love you, and Lockett, I love you guys getting down Slim Reapers and hiding on the floor and all that. God bless you, little people. But I like it when my guy can, the Jeremy Shockeys of the world out there delivering a little bit of the justice, the street justice of the NFL. So, but yes, I digress. Other QBs, I did say to pick up Winston last week, and I did say to elevate him anyway. But Justin Herbert's about 40% rostered too. He's been throwing the ball suddenly. I don't know if he found Jesus or whatever, but God bless Justin Herbert, because that was one of his better games.
Did you see that? Did you see that defensive tackle try and destroy his knee, and
Yeah,
his lineman just came in and just
guy should go to
destroyed
jail.
him?
I can't believe he did that. That was evil.
I just loved the way the lineman reacted. It was so pure and just like a dad. You know what I'm saying? Like our brother. Like it was just like just there's no thought. Like just like get the hell off of him, dude. I see you.
I like how
And
he
even
bent.
when it was done, and they were all, he's like, you know what you did.
I
It's
like
dirty.
how I like how he bent him backwards too when he did it. He just fudged him up. Yeah, gave him
Yeah.
the business. So yeah, get Herbie. I think he's somebody. If he's on the waiver wire like he is in our league, he's worth rostering. So all right, RB.
Do you have any RBs? I have one. Who's your RB?
one guy?
Okay. I have Keaton Mitchell.
Good call. I have the 49ers guy, Gerardo or whatever. I mean,
Guriendo, yeah. I
Guriendo,
mean,
yeah.
I think McCaffrey's coming back, so I mean, you can get him, but I mean, they're on the bye, right?
Yeah.
Don't they have the bye this week?
Yeah.
So I think McCaffrey comes back after the bye.
I mean,
So,
I
but
hope
yeah,
he does.
he looked good. Oh, me too. In my one league that I have him,
Right. Like I'm gonna win that league that I've got him in. It's the Scott Fishbowl League. I'm not
yeah,
gonna win
it's
that.
not gonna do.
But
It's not gonna do anything for me. But yeah.
wide receiver. Where are you at with the wide receivers, my friend?
With the Jameis business, dude, Cedric Tillman obviously is going to be the hottest pickup of the week. And I think it's worth it. I'd say Elijah Moore on the Browns too. 8 receptions, something like that, crazy that, yeah, I didn't expect Jameis to I mean, it's just insane how bad Deshaun Watson was. You know what I mean? Like insane. I remember listening to people prognosticating about the Browns, but these are people on Sirius XM that you and I respect. They were calling for 12 wins. Defense and all the parts that they have on that team. Hey, look, now they got Jameis in there. They just beat the Ravens, dude. So Elijah Moore's in play. Jalen McMillan for the Bucks. Those are the 3 guys I'm interested in.
I like your calls. I also Josh Downs is still 48% rostered, so that's just stupid.
Right.
Figure it out, people. And then and even Keon Coleman's only 57% rostered. So those are just glaring oversights I just see in the market. And I agree with you 100% on both Elijah Moore and Tillman. And yeah, get it done. What about for tight end? You got anybody for tight end?
I mean, Hunter Henry's still at 41%, tight end 9. So, what was that? What was the Drake May injury? A concussion? What did?
I think it might have been. I'm not sure though. I dipped out on that game. It was not my favorite game to not pay attention to.
Right. Well, either way, he gets play with either quarterback. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, he's the only one I have. I mean, he's 41% still. So,
Are you interested in Adam Troutman over there with the Broncos at all?
I mean, not really.
Mike
I mean,
Gesicki got 8 targets for the Bengals.
I know. He was doing that at the beginning of the season too, and then that Eric he came in and he started getting run. So I don't know. The Gesicki thing seems fluky to me. I thought he was going to be a bigger part of that offense. So it's tight end. It's halfway through the season. This is why I do think it's worth drafting a Kyle Pitts and hope it works out, is because you have to look at people like Mike Gesicki.
You know who is Kyle Pitts in the Crab Cake League?
You do?
I do. And by the way, I do
Nice.
believe I'm going to be 7-1 in that league after today. So
The 3-time champ is doing his
champ is
thing.
positioning himself for a deep run with my David
Wow.
Montgomery, Derrick Henry, Baker Mayfield still. Yeah, I've got Hunter Henry, I believe, on that team. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm excited. So, all right. Let's talk. Any defenses you're focusing on this week?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. Packers D is still widely available and are, on our scoring system, top 6, top 5. Um,
Aren't they playing the Lions
so
though? I mean, you don't really want to play the
yeah,
Lions.
I know that's not. I'm just saying if you have room to roster a D, like you have an extra bench spot, I would pick up the Packers, right? Like they just I think defenses are a premium. Like I did in another league too, where I had somebody get injured or whatever, and I just grabbed the Bears. The Bears were out there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I feel you.
if you can,
I think for me, I'm gonna go with the Chargers, and the reason would be is that they're playing Jameis, and Jameis likes to throw the pickles, and so the Ravens secondary was banged up like shit, like terribly banged up, and they didn't even travel like their 2 starters. So Tennessee coming up, Cleveland not they're not terrible, and so I think Cleveland and Tennessee are a little bit of a challenge in that respect. So I do like or they'll be challenged by the Chargers D. So I like the Chargers D if you want to ride the Jameis Winston turnover train. He'll give you a pickle. So
I'm with that
yeah.
for sure.
Okay. All right. Let's jump to elevate, mitigate, eviscerate. Would you get rolling? I got a tough out here at 6:15, so we got to keep it going hard. My guy for elevate, I kind of hinted at it at QB was your guy last week. It was Captain Kirk. It just made a lot of sense. This week he's going up against Dallas, and for my money, I think it's gonna be a shootout. I don't think it's gonna be a low scoring game. If we pull up the game here, let's see what it's trending towards. It's 48 and a hook. Yeah. So 51. It opened at 48. It's up to 51 already. So, yeah, this is going to be some points are going to get scored in this game, and I trust Captain Kirk to command the Atlanta Falcons in this game, and I think it's a big game for Kyle Pitts. I think it's a good game for a lot of people on Atlanta Falcons, Drake London too. So, yeah, Captain Kirk for me. Again, ride the hot hand, and, good call last week, my partner. Good call.
Yeah, I started him in 2 leagues too, like over good people too. Like I went with my own advice and yeah, it paid off handsomely.
Yeah, it's important to listen to your own show later. Be like, oh yeah, that's what I said. I'll do that. That's a good call.
Right, right.
Who's your guy this week?
All right. I'm gonna go. It's funny to say it, but hey, I like to say it. I say this was somebody I benched last week for Kirk Cousins. I am not benching him this week. I am taking the first or second greatest quarterback of all time, Patrick Mahomes, and elevating him versus the Bucks. Um, Very excited that he got DeAndre Hopkins and love this matchup. The Bucks, if you look at what they're giving up versus the position, they are they're just a great matchup for football teams. They can score quick too. It's amazing what Baker's doing without Godwin and Evans, and this will be an interesting game. But I think seeing Kelsey get involved last week and having DeAndre Hopkins and potentially Juju back, um, hey, look, maybe Mahomes starts to become Mahomes again. You know what I mean? Like they're 7-0, right? And they've been winning every game by like a touchdown or less. Like every game's just a nail biter. Um, maybe this is a game where they just start to get into another gear. Maybe the fact that they're 7-0, I think they could go 17-0. Like I think they should have already lost a game or two. And I think getting DeAndre Hopkins is really cool for them. And I think I don't think it's going to be long before they're freaking awesome together.
Yeah, I like your call this week. I'm into elevating Mahomes against Tampa Bay. Total's a little low at 44.5. I think that'll go up. I'd take the over in that game, just given Tampa Bay's ability to score. I know KC's got good defense, but I don't know.
That
They got a
defense
lot of
is
different
sick.
weapons, and Baker gets the ball out quick, and he's played against Kansas City, so I think I'll take the over in that matchup. So, all right, my RB for elevate. It's hard to find one to elevate that's not starting. It's a week where there's a couple teams on bye, so you're missing a few different teams. But I went with Raheem Mostert, and I wanted to get your opinion on this. Right, he's going up against the Bills, and the Bills give up a lot of rushing yards. They're not really good at that. HN is doing HN stuff, but so is Mostert. And Mostert last week had the most Mostert line ever. I'll show you Mostert's line. It's going to make you vomit, right? But it is what it is. And I should have started him in our league because he would have gotten me more points, right? He had 9 carries for 19 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, that's Raheem Mostert. But he's going up against the Bills, and God bless the Bills, but the Bills are terrible against the running back. And so with your boy, like you said, HN running more, I could see Mostert kind of getting more of the carries and getting more of the yards in this matchup, and HN being more of the the back who gets the passes and gets the the screens and the downfield stuff, because that's a good matchup to exploit for this defense too. So they've already given up close to 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns. So this is a juicy matchup. What do you think about Mostert in a week where you might have to put him in a flex?
Oh, guess who I picked for my
Who's
elevate?
your guy?
Raheem
Who's your guy? Who's your
Mostert.
guy? Who's your guy?
Yeah, Raheem Mostert, baby.
Well, what do you see this week besides what I shared?
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, I saw, regardless of that line, I saw that his role is just what it's always been. Mike McDaniels likes him as the power back, and this is a situation where I think the power back is going to get to benefit from a defense that lets people find those lanes. And you know I don't see anything with Raheem Mostert that gives me pause. You know, him being 32 or however old he is now. I mean, he always looks like it's just one little arm tackle away from he's gone. And this could be a week where that happens, and then also just the red zone usage. So,
Right, the red zone usage
um,
is a big deal. Big deal.
right, right. I that's who that's who I wrote down as well, man. Raheem Mostert.
I do like when we mind meld. Maybe we'll look and see how much he costs for the DK and put him in as one of our
Yeah,
RBs for upside. If he's cheaper.
yeah.
Who's your wide receiver then? Since I went first with QBs and I stole your RB, who's your wide receiver?
Well, you had mentioned the beat up secondary of the Ravens, and we saw last week Cortland Sutton get 8 for 100, something like that, right? Um, Good week. So yeah, man, I uh, I like Sutton going against the Ravens this week, and he had that donut week, so he could be scary to start. I thankfully started him this week in a few different leagues, and I'm going to start him again versus the Ravens.
I like your call, and that might be part of one of my stacks and DFS stacks of cash in a little bit. But we do need to hurry, so let's play the games. All right. I love your call. My guy is somebody who I talked about earlier. I actually did talk about him last week or earlier in the show. He was the 4th wide receiver, highest ranked wide receiver this week. It's Josh Downs, right? So not only he's not on 50% of rosters, 48% rostered only. So, he's not even playing, and he is crushing. So last week, I think he did not get 2 touchdowns. He was just down like at the 1-on-1. He almost got another touchdown. He still got 27 points, so he almost got 33 points, really, which would have made him wide receiver 3. So right where he is anyway. So actually, wait, no. Did I add wrong? Oh no, yeah, he would have been. Yeah, so I mean, he would have been up here with Lad McConkey. So I love Josh Downs. He's not even on rosters. I think you put him in your lineup, you play him, and you don't worry about it. Whether it is Joe Flacco or if it is Anthony Richardson, like this is the guy who is just the best player in the back secondary who's running around for them. Michael Pittman, God bless you. You're a big target. You can't do what this guy can do, man. This guy's just got the wheels. He's got the routes. He gets in space. He's wide open. Can't even see anybody on the screen trying to defend him. So I'm all about Josh Downs this week. He's got a good matchup too. Let me roll and see who he's playing. I think I wrote it on my show card, but yeah, Minnesota. They just got torched. They're gonna have to throw the football. Minnesota's gonna be winning that game. So I like it.
I'm with you. No pushback. All right, tight ends. Nothing left to say. We've talked about him a lot. He was my buy high. K. Otten versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs. This is the one thing that they're not doing that well this season is defending the tight end position. Even if they were defending the tight end position, I would still say elevate K. Otten because he has now a heightened role on that team because of the injuries, because of the Godwin lack of targets underneath, and this is actually a more beneficial matchup than most tight end matchups. So K. Otten versus the Chiefs.
I love it. You can go sign it for me. It was mine as well. We're stealing each other's, which is great. Consolidating the show.
Okay.
And then you can
Okay.
make it my elevate again next week. Who's playing against San Francisco, who just gave up a bunch to Kelsey. So double elevates. Pay attention this week or next week. All right, I'll just jump in and I'll share my defense real quick. It's the Chargers against the Browns. So I kind of hinted at it earlier, but yeah, I'd play the Chargers if you're kind of strapped for a defense. I think Jameis is due for some turnovers. So I'm into that.
I was thinking the same thing. I actually went with Texans versus the Jets. I wish we got to talk more about the Jets on this show. We didn't get any Jets talk because of time crunch, but
I mean, booger eater Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, the booger eater.
What a debacle! I wish we could. We have to keep rolling. But man, I just think you're gonna get at least sacks. That this just couldn't be more
can't
wild
move
over
back
there.
He's not mobile.
I wish we had more time to unpack all of it, but let's keep going.
After show, kids. After show. Yeah.
All right, mitigate.
Okay, mitigate. For me, I'm mitigating Tua versus the Bills. I elevated them last week incoherently. Shouldn't have done that. The Bills are really good against QBs. They eat them up. Let me see where they're at against QBs. They rank fifth. So they're not the people to f with, and I think they're going to come after Tua. They don't care about him in the Guardian cap or not wearing a cap. They're going to hit him. So no, thank you.
Yeah. All right. I listen. Tough person to mitigate. It's not necessarily the worst matchup, but like I said earlier, I just don't know what's going on with Dak Prescott. Maybe this is maybe the last quarter is the beginning of the turnaround. I don't want to take a chance. I don't like anything I'm seeing over there, so I don't want to play him versus the Falcons.
I got no complaints against that at all. I mean, yeah, that seems really fair. His last outings 25, 3, and 20. That's not good. That's not good at all. So okay. I'm trying to find mine over here. Okay. Yeah, mine is gonna be just Denver running backs against the Ravens in general. So particularly we talked last week about, and I did at least, if you were in the Jamal Williams trading business, I said trade him while he's high. He didn't do too great. As a matter of fact, Jaleel McLaughlin outscored him this week, and I mean I bought him for $6K on DraftKings. I was like, this is going to be a game for him. It was not a game for him. You got to scroll down here. Javonte not great, and so the Ravens are pretty good. They're pretty good. He only got 10.9. Yeah, not great. Baltimore's pretty good. Kansas City's pretty good too. So he's got some tough matchups coming up, and they're not going to be leading the game, so they're not going to be able to lean on him. He's not really, that PPR. He got 4 for 8 in Carolina. That's not going to get it done. You get to roll up here to find McLaughlin, and I think he was more featured in that PPR role. Let's see if we can bring up his stats real quick in this game. Yeah, he had one reception, so whatever. He had more carries and he did better. He had 5.9 yards. So I'm not into either of these guys next week against the Ravens. So
All right, I'm just gonna go real quick. Listen, I think every week I'll be potentially looking at whoever is playing the Chiefs, and we have somewhat of a three-headed monster. Although I think the most talented running back is Bucky Irving because he is the more running back of the group. The Bucks, I think, will probably get Rashad White more involved through PPR. I'm going to sit Bucky Irving. I've seen good backs go up against the Chiefs, and there's just nothing you can do. So Bucky Irving's, not more special than Derrick Henry.
that's a
So
fair call. I like that call. It's your boy who you're trying to sell low on is Waddle for me. I'm not in the Waddle business at this moment, so I'm sitting him against the Bills.
okay, I'm going Tank Dell versus the Jets. So
Okay. For tight end, I'll raise you a Hunter Henry versus the Tennessee Titans.
I'm going Tucker Kraft versus the Lions.
I thought about that one. I like that one. For my sitting, the defense is the Broncos versus the Ravens. I don't like it.
I'm going Seahawks versus the surging Rams for my defense. Seahawks been doing good, but Rams look good.
That's a sexy. All right, I have a button on my computer that makes it so that DraftKings comes up over here. So I'm going to see.
Oh, who do you want to eviscerate? Anybody?
No, I'm not eviscerating anyone. Let's see if my
You wanna
DraftKings
kn-
things comes up. Oh, it did. It worked. Look at that. Oh, we can go right into the lobby.
You want to know who I want to? Yeah, I'll give you my eviscerate.
Please eviscerate away. Tell me who you're eviscerating.
I think I'm going to start eviscerating from all my teams. I already did it with Zamir White, Christian Watson.
Ouch. Ow, wow, wow.
I know. Oh no. It's Romeo Dobbs' fault. I wish Christian Watson threw a temper tantrum. He should. He's better than him. All right, yeah, we are getting low on time. So who cares about our platinum gold? Let's just build.
Gotcha. Let's build away. Who do you want to start at QB?
I don't know. Who do you like?
I am a fan of. I mean, I do like Kirk Cousins in this matchup for myself personally, but that's just I've been on Kirk. Who are you?
Yeah, let's do it. Kirk Cousins. Let's do it. Let's do it. Kirky Kirk.
Okay, Kirky Kirk. And then I was gonna go with Mooney because he is less.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mooney. How much is Mooney?
6K.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. All right, and then I'll let you pick the first running back. What do you want to do for RB?
Let's do Raheem Mostert.
Okay, there we go, Mostert. And then I'm also a fan, and I wanted to get your thoughts in this matchup of and maybe not a little James Cook against Buffalo. What do you think? Or sorry, against Miami.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. He's going to eat. He's just such a big part of that offense.
What do you think about Puka Nacua
No problems.
here? Puka Nacua?
I'm all about Puka Nacua.
Okay. We're doing up nice and expensive, which is fine. But let's go find a cheap D.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Defense is not a position this week. It's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough. You could do, the Titans are 32. You could do the Patriots even. I don't know. How much are the Patriots? They're playing each other.
They're a little less. I could do the Patriots. That's
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Let's look at the tight end because we have no
Okay.
money. We gotta go cheap.
How much is Cade? How much is Cade?
I don't think. I think they're on. They're not in this game. They're not in this matchup.
Oh. Okay.
What do you think about Noah Fant?
Calcaterra.
Oh, who'd you say?
Oh well, I don't know if Goddard's gonna be back or not. So
What about Fant?
I like Fant. I do like Fant.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
I like Fant in this matchup for sure.
I'm looking for.
How much for Cortland? How much for Cortland Sutton?
That's who I was looking for. 54.
You
There
can't
we
be
go.
that
We got
high.
52
Yeah.
left.
52 left. That's decent. What do we got? Who's in the 52 range this week? Huh.
You got Kincaid. You got Kyle Pitts. Let's put Kyle Pitts in there.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. We'll double stack it.
Yep. All right. We're in.
I like it.
Okay. All right. We got a couple minutes left to do our. Let me get back into my home page. Okay. This is, first of all, I want you guys to see this because this is incredible, right? I don't know if you've seen this. Most people have. This is a video. And down here you're going to see Tyreek Stevenson. He is trolling the Commanders fans before the Hail Mary the other day. So he's over pointing and laughing. So just watch this guy down here. And then you see what happens in this whole thing. It's great. Hold on, let me. Okay, here we go. So, yeah, homeboy's waving them off. Now he decides to jump in. Jaden Daniels moves back and forth, chucks it up downfield, and watch 29. He's down here in the bottom. Tips it up to Noah Brown for the touchdown. Right? That guy is a big donkey. So, most people saw that on social media. You know, it was part of the milieu.
Yeah.
And it was perfect because yeah, he came out and he said after the game to Chicago and my teammates, my apologies for my lack of awareness and focus. The game ain't over until zeros hit the clock. Can't take anything for granted. Note taken. Improvement will happen. # bear down. Barry on her, one of my favorite friends, right? Formerly probably Barry McCockiner. He says, Tyrone, I threw one of my wife's dildos at my TV when I saw you showboating cost us the game. The sound of the TV shattering scared my dog so badly he shit on the floor. Now my house smells as shitty as I feel on the inside from having to watch your bum ass cost us games.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that killed me. So
Okay. All right. Go to mine. Oh, mine's pretty wild too. All right. This is a Reddit post. Husband and I disagree about the name Blessica. For years and years, I've dreamt of naming my future baby girl Blessica. I have been blessed enough to be pregnant with a baby girl, and finally my dreams are coming true. The only problem is, thanks to my husband, my last name is Blimpson. My husband hates the idea of naming our baby Blessica because he says that the name is too similar to the celebrity Jessica Simpson's name, and that Blessica will be made fun of. I really doubt that anyone Blessica's age would even know who Jessica Simpson is. And I don't think this fear is worth not naming my baby the name I want to give her the most. Please weigh in. Thank you. Yes, and thank you, Reddit, for bringing this to the internet. Blessica Blimpson. Oh, man. That's a tough call. You have a hot one lined up? Okay, you do Barry McCockiner then.
be bad show to ruin the show. So not be okay. Sources are telling me that just now in the Bears locker room, quarterback Caleb Williams got so angry he threw a garbage can and accidentally hit a Make-A-Wish kid who is now bleeding out on the floor. Unbelievable.
Awesome.
Oh, man. Well, I wish we could go on forever. I do need to get out of here. I think I'm already late for my meeting. Yeah, I'm a minute late, but I appreciate you guys, and I'll let Mike close us out. Cash, as we always do. Give us
War, pain, chaos, heartache, and destruction to all your opponents in week 8, week 9. Is that what we're going into? Oh my gosh. Peace and love everywhere else.